4th of July, babe. Yeah, I'm something like the 4th. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So enticing. That's why you back for more. Oh,
Nope, screens mate.
Oh, there's so many tabs. I'm like trying to find it. Well, the screen. Hello.
Here we go.
Yep. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yep. I see it real clear now.
I can see clearly now. There we go. I can turn the screen to there.
Yeah, I'm something like the 4th. Oh, yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah, I've been trapped inside. Yeah, I've been trapped in life. I'm free. Yeah, I've been trapped inside. Yeah, I've been trapped in life. Till you freed me. Yeah, yeah, I'm so happy I found you. Something like the
Yeah, that's good.
4th of July, babe.
But I locked the screen. I guess I only like the second one.
Still on a fair bit of an angle away.
That's okay.
Hey, that's alright. No, that's okay. Yeah, I just went to the other side.
No, it's on the float. This is 2023. It has the float screen.
Yeah, right. I see.
It doesn't touch. It's the
This is
air.
the new,
It's like
new
the
Samsung
air.
float. Yeah, okay.
It's like the we have a super gravitational pull with the hands, like some flash action.
Right. That's nice.
Nothing but the best in here.
So, Atomic, yeah, can you turn up the volume a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
I want to turn up a little more too.
There we go. Tell me, Atomic, you can only hear Seal singing in your head now, eh?
Okay.
Solitary Nina. Solitary magnet.
Oh, babe. You say I'm something like the 4th of July, babe. Yeah, I'm something like the 4th. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So enticing. That's why you back for more.
I think I just realized this is a little bit sexual, this song. Nina!
I piece the fit.
You two will scratch our lips.
I just caught the lyrics for a minute, you know, I was like really listening. write this for the challenge?
No,
Okay.
this is So I did this song for the July, just for July 4th. Every year I bring it back up. I love it.
It's a good idea to
This
have like a
year-
seasonal track. That's smart. Like, yeah, do some Christmas stuff.
Yeah, we have a few. We have a Merry Christmas song. Well, all right. And we actually shot a video in Altspace. R.I.P. Altspace. So what's the blue?
What's
That's
the
a color session.
blue? The blue is the top part is the top bass. Has like organ bass,
Oh,
and that's the main bass. The sub.
DJ Nitzo in the house. What's up, DJ Nitzo? Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Well, all right.
That's why you back so long. Oh,
Man, it's popping. So we here in the Casio studio. Woo, thanks for popping in the spaceship. Digging the clothes. Fresh.
Yeah.
You see the outfit?
Yeah,
Dang.
that's looking wild.
He's fresh. Look at the drip.
Got a DJ Nitzer like face pack on. Wow.
Get it? Damn. Hey, hey. This is our DJ station. So after we make our music, we bring our songs as a tribe. Hey, we let it fly. Oh.
Oh.
Hey. Buddy.
Yeah, I'm something like the fall. Oh, yeah.
Well, all right. Let's go. Hey.
I reckon that's the way you dance in real life.
Some truth to that.
Whoa! Look at DJ Nitso. That looks so cool, though.
Yo, man's a giant.
Wait a minute. You could be the mascot if you're gonna do that. Whoa. I like the shot.
Dirty Blonde's asked, how does he hop into spatial looks?
Liking this. I'm liking this a lot. He's stunting on us, changing the colors to match the ninja. Oh! He black and red. He ninja colors. He said, I'm gonna be the mascot. All right, hold on. Let me show y'all what he is. I like the red.
You say I'm something like the 4th of July, babe. Yeah, I'm something like the 4th. Oh, yeah. So enticing. That's why you back for more. Oh, yeah.
Someone in the chat, Nina, is asking them if they can get into spatial.
ABS. Just answered. What's up, ABS? Oh, Dirty Blonde. Oh, okay. Spatial link is coming up. Spatial link coming right up. Just put it in the chat. So this is how you guys join. You could join on your mobile device, your phone, your computer, or hop into your headset in VR. My name is Nina Crease. The Music and Gaming Castle is in here. Atomic VR is in here. Ma9net is in here. DJ Nitso is in here. All right, the castle's in here. Let's go. All right. He back.
Yeah, I'm so happy I found you. You say I'm something like the 4th of July, babe.
We vibing.
So enticing. That's why you back so long. Oh, yeah.
So what's time? Questions from Ma9net.
Go for it.
Oh, you
What's
heard
up?
him? He said I'm ready for it. You heard him? Don't be trying
All
to
right.
play with Atomic like that.
So
You know who
with-
Atomic is? This is Atomic. Shoot.
I see you've used a really talented vocalist here, but what effects have you applied to the vocals?
The vocal chain. So let's go through the vocal chain. I haven't really used much effects, to be honest. So on the low vocals, if I started from here, I've used an EQ and I've put some automation on the EQs just
Okay.
to cut off, like, because I bumped them up so high with reverb, it was bringing out the sort of like harshness on the
Okay, so
high.
you've stacked a bunch of reverb on it.
Yeah, so it's got
Yep.
the reverb, and you'll see this automate, and it just goes down every now and again. Ready? So the EQ dips.
Oh yeah.
And then I've also got a compressor, which is also doing some compressing the higher sort of like frequencies. So I've used an EQ on the compressor, and I've put it up to 10,000 hertz. So every time it goes over 10,000 hertz, it will compress it and drop it down, so you won't be able to hear
So
it.
that's taking out some of the higher end of the.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what that is, what I've done here is, if I solo this out, it's sort of like really sort of like the highs are sort of like really dull because I've taken them out.
Right.
But then the channel underneath it, all I've got is the highs
You've flipped
in
it.
this one.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I've put a on the high. Oh, Claire, you see, I've cut all the lows out of this vocal.
Yeah.
And then I've just used an ozone image spreader to spread it so it's really like widened on the stereo field.
Okay.
And both of them together just sound. So it gives you that bit of width.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
And makes it really sort of like wide. If I look at this main vocal, if I take the effects off of all of it, let me take the effects off.
I just heard the vocalist blow a kiss in the voice sample there. Yeah.
Because the vocalist is, she likes to put you in the moment.
Yeah. I just noticed it. Yeah.
Good ear, Magnet. Okay,
And I've
magnetic
emphasized
ears.
as well.
I'm
Okay.
listening.
So on those little bits, like that kiss, for instance, I've cut out the drums and the bass, so it sounds like this all together. Oh no, that's just added that little ad-lib
Ad-lib.
in the kiss
Alright.
part. Like for instance here, I took the drums and the out of that, so it sort of like brings it through a bit more.
Yeah, some space for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done on the vocals, on the highs and lows. There's not much processing at all because the vocal sample that come through was like top quality and it was just amazing.
So if you smack the A key on your keyboard for me, please. Should show me all your automation on those channels.
Oh,
right?
the automation, right?
Cool.
So
There we go.
Question,
let me
Magnet. Good
show
question.
you. Yeah, nice one. So track volume, I've got a little bit of volume automation on this one.
Yeah.
On the EQ, this is where the most automation is. So
Right.
this is where,
You did all that
This-
manually.
yeah, I've done all this
Yeah,
manually.
nice.
So I went through it. And you'll see when this hits here, this is that.
Yeah, cool.
So that's that. Automation on some of the vocal channels with volume. I've got device on and off automation, so it turns on devices. And that's not much automation, to be fair, but in all fairness, this took 5 hours to do, so
Yeah, right.
it's still a bit rough around the edges, but
In 5 hours, I'm probably just starting the arrangement phase.
so yeah, that's the automation on those channels. Not much at all, to be fair. Oh, hang on, there's someone here, track volume on this one.
that just a fade or something? The track volume?
I don't know. To be fair, I don't even know what's going on in this one.
Okay.
Actually, there's not
Doesn't look
much
like it's
volume
doing
change.
much. Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert, so,
No, there's
so I'm
nothing.
not going to comment on it. But
No, there's nothing on that channel at all.
okay,
On this one, you got the mixer, which is just on a track volume. So if I went, oh no, it's not. It's on the pan end. So on here,
yeah.
pans to the right.
Remember when I
and then-
asked you? I was like, it sounds like that's all the way off to the right, so it's being
Yeah.
panned. Yeah, okay.
So
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just all made. And again, on this part here,
Yeah,
and then
it
the
is.
other, when Nina says yeah, it goes to the left. And I think that is on. I've got to find the ad libs now. Maybe it's on. Track volume. So it's not too much automation on there at all, to be honest.
Wow, there's a little bit, but yeah, it seems like you say it's not that much. But
Yeah.
it's more than like more than I've done on some stuff.
Yeah, so
It's cool to
that's-
see it all, man. What else have you got in the scroll up?
oh,
Man, it's
this
actually pretty. You don't actually have that many layers. How many layers do you have total here?
let's
See
count
you,
them.
Wesley.
The best way, right, is a little trick to find out how many channels you got. If you go to the bottom one and just rename it, and just put a hashtag in front of the name, and push it, it will tell you the number of the track. So we've got 28 in this one.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, so if you put a hashtag in front of anything, it will number the track for you.
That's a great little tip.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite handy. Quite handy.
Yeah, I'll use
So
that.
yeah, we've only got 28 tracks in this track.
Yeah, which sounds like a lot, but it's not.
No. And one of them's not being used. That's that vocal there. So that's just the main vocal.
Yeah, I used the sidechain on a kick that I then hid the kick because I didn't like it, but I liked the way that the beat sounded with the sidechain, and then I bought it a different kick. So I ended up having like two kicks, but only one of them's audible, and the other one's it's being there for sidechain purposes.
Yeah. So that's what I've done at the top here. That I've got my sidechain kick, and it's just being sent to the sends only rather than the master. So this is, you cannot hear this. It's not playing at all, but it's still
so if
sending.
you put it on
the
sends
signal.
only, I don't even have to do what
Yeah.
I've been doing. Yeah, okay, sick. I'll do that. Tip number
One more
2.
time, please, for the stream.
Yeah, so basically for sidechain kicks, sidechains basically, just a quick thing on sidechain, it takes a signal of whatever you want. So basically in this situation, we've got the signal from these kicks are going to the bass and other channels to create a pumping sound, and that's generally what a sidechain does. It takes the signal from one track and it affects the other track that you put the sidechain on. But what I've done here is I've made loads of kicks up the top, and these are not my main kicks, and I've just routed them to sends only rather than the master. So this will be inaudible to the actual mix. You won't be able to hear these. They're just being sent to a dead end basically. So, but it's still there to automate or to affect other channels, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, makes sense.
Yeah, it's a little tricky. It's a little tricky, the concept.
Yeah. So basically,
yeah.
sidechain is what it come up first of all in radio stations. So when the DJs talked over the music, the signal from their vocals would affect the music, so it would duck the music down. So they would talk, and then the music would automatically go down. That's where sidechain first come about, and then no, well, I'd say recently, but for the last 10 years, people have been using that in their music production. And it's very, very, very handy to have, especially on your kick and your bass, because you don't want the kick frequencies or the low end frequencies of your kick to clash with your bass low sort of like frequencies. So you
And you,
can
yeah,
use the sidechain to take out the frequencies of the bass like every time the kick hits, and then it will stop
yeah.
that clash.
How I've been using it, and I feel like it was the way that I understood it best, was I wanted to make a EDM song that sort of went wub 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 like that.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I found a sound that went wah, and then I sidechained it to the kick, and then muted the kick, and so now it tries to take that wah and quieten it every time the kick happens, and it creates this sound that sort of goes
The wobble
wop
sound,
wop wop, yeah. And then you
Yeah.
put a real kick in there, and now you've got like a doof. Yeah.
So I can demonstrate that. What I'll do is I'll open a new track.
Why didn't we just do this from the beginning?
Yeah, let's
Exactly.
do it.
Nah, it's way better to hear us try and explain it badly.
Open new thing. Let's open a new track. And what I'm going to do is I will put a kick on here quick. So I'm not going to go into how I do this, but let's just, we'll choose this one because it's got loads of kicks in. I'm going to just put some kicks in. That one I do. So I'm going to move that there, and I'm just going to duplicate these. No, I'm not. What we could do is a little secret thing you can do is right click in the MIDI editor on the piano roll, and a kick always goes, if it's four on the floor, is every quarter note. So we click quarter notes. Now when we put a kick in, it'll put it in. Okay, and now we can duplicate that all the way across, and then we got our kick. Quick and simple way of doing it. And then in this one, I'm going to put a MIDI note. Or let's just put a chord. So let's just say, so let's zoom into this a bit. I'm going to put in an A minor chord, for instance. So put an A minor chord, and then I'm going to select all of those and just drag them out. And then we've got to put a synth to that A minor chord. Just grab a synth. Let's just use Serum, for instance. I'll turn the filter on, bring the filter down. So we've got this, which is a basic kick and a basic chord. But now what I'm going to do is take the signal from this kick and make it affect this. So every time a kick hit, it will duck the volume down on this chord. And this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to go to the chord, and then I'm going to add in Ableton. We're going to go to Audio Effect, then Dynamics, then Compressor. And it brings this little compressor up down here. And then all we're going to do is tell this compressor and this represents the kicks. And now if I pull this blue line down, which is the threshold, you listen as I pull it further and further down, we can hear what's going on.
Yeah, now if you mute the kick, we can hear
Yep.
the chord again.
Yep, if we mute the kick,
Yeah.
it's gone from that to from this. Oh, it stopped, that's why. It's gone from this to that.
Yeah.
And this will happen. It doesn't necessarily have to be a kick. You can get creative with it. So let me just go into, I don't know what we've got an Ableton sample. Ableton sample, where are they? Let's just go for like percussion. Find a loop. Find a percussion loop. Come on, there's got to be a loop here somewhere, surely. Perfect. We'll just use this. So I'm going to pull this in and put it onto a new audio channel. And then I'm just going to duplicate it for this loop. And now I'm going to tell that compressor on here to, so we're on audio 7. I'm going to tell this compressor to look for audio 7. Where's audio? Oh, it's audio. So it's that one. There we go. And now we'll listen to mute this as well. Now we'll listen to what happens to the chord now. So it's given that little bit of a rhythmic feeling to it.
So what you've double sidechained this, have you? So it's sidechained from
No,
Chase
it's only just sidechained from this
a different
audio channel. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we can mess around with this now with the release. It's similar to a synth. So if we up the release, it's going to take longer to fall out. So it will take some of the effect away. So see, it's taking the effect away a bit.
Yeah, okay.
But I'll pull the release right down, and the attack will do the same. So it takes it a bit longer to actually sound or to compress it. But now we pull that all the way down. It gives us a really nice tight kind of. So we got that, and we can still play the kick over the top of it, which will sound. And that's a good way, especially if you put a reverb on that. So if I went and put a reverb on that now. So it's kind of like a nice little texture you can put underneath in the background somewhere. And it's, so you can get really creative with that and really cool. Maybe this ain't the best.
Take the kick out again, please. That's a cool sound though. Like,
yeah. And then you play it with the actual sample. So it's going with the sample.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
And then we could do that with a bass line. So if I added another audit MIDI track, and I just work something here, and all I'm going to do is put one note in. So I'm going to draw it. I've done it in A, didn't I? So I'm going to draw it in A. That's A sharp. And let's get something on the go for bass. So I'm going to add a synth. And let's use, I'm going to use silent for this. And then I'm just going to use a preset. I'm going to use a lead preset just to see what it sounds like. Oh no, let's use a bass. Is there any bass on here? Okay, that bass is not great. Let's
Oh,
just try.
no, what's wrong with it?
That's all right as a bass. A bass, that is bass.
Yeah, it's a bass.
It's just a bit. There we go. And then all I'm going to do is put the sustain up. On those on this one.
Out.
And now I'm going to just copy that compressor which I've got on here. And put it on here. And maybe compress it a bit more. Maybe turn down a tiny bit. Or I could grab the audio from the kick now.
Oh, that made it sound better.
And now we've got
Yeah, nice little like.
and that is two things compressed side chains using the compressor. There are other ways of doing it by using like fab filters, LFO and stuff like that. But I generally just go to the compressor and Ableton because there's a stock plugin and it's really easy to get some really cool stuff. And also we've got envelope followers, which is really cool as well. So if I take that compressor off of that and then I put an envelope, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into audio effect and we're going to go to modulators and an envelope follower. And again, this is exactly the same. So what we're going to do is, no, we don't want it on there. Sorry, my mistake. Control, no, control it. We're going to put this envelope follower on this channel. So it's the opposite this time. And then on this chord, I'm going to put a utility on the chord that we want to affect. Go back to the envelope follower. I'm going to map. Now I'm going to click on the gain of that chord. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to go back into the envelope follower. Where is it there? And I'm just going to turn up the gain.
Oh,
Hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Oh yeah, bro.
yo, what's up, Dirty? We here.
Nothing much.
And basically what we're doing is this envelope follower is reading the waveform of this, so it's reading the audio. And then all we've done is mapped it to the gain of the utility. So you can see this gain going mad because it's following the envelope. So you can get some really cool sort of like rhythmic kind of stuff with it. So it's very similar to sidechains, but it's more, well, it's a bit different, I suppose, because it's following the waveform rather than listening to the volumes, if that makes sense. And then if we wanted to put and we could go crazy and then start putting other effects on, like an echo maybe.
Right.
And we've got some of the crazy stuff going on just from everything. Now, if I turn this off, mute this, and it's all, we don't even have to use this in the track, this audio, so
Nah.
we don't have to use that. We can just use it as a modulator, so it's modulating the way the pad. So yeah, there's all different ways to actually use the signal of one track to actually modulate the next one up.
That's mean.
Yes, that was.
Yeah.
And that's, like say, that's the envelope follower. it's a really sort of like understated plugin enabled, and I use that quite often as my go-to if I want to make some rhythmic parts. So there's no
Envelope
way.
follower.
Yep, there's no way that I would have come up with. I might have, like, if it was like hours and hours and hours of messing around, but that just took me a few seconds to do, and it's come up with something like that, and it's really creative. So,
Yeah, like if you didn't, but if you gave me that sound, that I would be trying to replicate it by hitting several keys, when in fact
Yeah.
it's just one key. Or
Yep.
like, yeah.
So yeah, that's a really, like I say, it's really understated. It's one of my favourite modulation tools enabled. The envelope follower. The same as the LFO as well. I use the LFO a lot. So instead of doing modulation or automation on the actual tracks, I use LFO a lot of the time. So an LFO, basically, I'll show you. I'll put one on this Serum one, so I'll grab an LFO. And basically all this is doing is just, it's got a really slow wave and we can change the rate. So, and we can change this. You can see this, it goes up to 32 beats. So it's a really slow. If I speed it up, you see what happens. It goes a bit quicker. But
Yeah.
what I'm going to do now is, if I go into Serum, and then I click Map on the LFO, and then I'm going to click the filter. Oh no, sorry, it don't work like that. My mistake. So on VSTs,
We can only
80%
see Serum
sure-
at the moment.
Oh, you can only see Serum, sorry. On VSTs, if we click this little drop down arrow here, it opens up basically some of the controls in the VST instrument. So as you
How did you do
Go.
So this little arrow next to it,
Ah!
so click that, and it will expose some of the controls in the VST. So I've got this map.
The mix.
I'm going to map it to the cutoff. So just turn it down a bit.
Ah.
So now this LFO is controlling the thingy. So I'll just speed this up.
And that means you can now automate this too, doesn't it? Using the
Yep,
automation.
you can automate it, yep.
Yeah.
So we've got that on the depth. We can turn the depth down as well, so it's not so much. And then we can slow the rate down a tiny bit. So we've got some like little groove going on it now. So I could even, that is distorting like mad. So let me just put another utility on there. There you go. Actually, that sounds quite nice with that little bit of distortion in there. Distortion's not always a bad thing.
Yeah, like a little bit's okay, right?
Yeah, it gives it some nice hum on it. So yeah, so now I can even put, you can change the waveform on here, so you can put random now, and then I'll put it to 16th. And then put the depth up a bit. Now it's really randomizing that. The filter cut off, you can see it going mad here. If I open up Serum, you can see Serum going mad, and that's all done through that LFO. And now, if you can hit your modulation lane and modify the rate, or what I like doing as well is getting a second LFO, putting it on random, and then putting the depth all the way up, and just putting this to 16th. Click map, and then map the rate. And then now you're getting some really randomized kind of modulation.
You fed it through a randomizing filter and then fed it through another randomizing filter.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hey guys. And it looks like we have 2 new artists who joined the studio. We have Dirty Blonde. Hey, Dirty Blonde. Welcome to the studio. And we also have Kiko. Whoop, whoop,
Yo,
whoop.
Kiko.
Oh.
Dirty blonde.
We got Kiko in the house. And on the stream, we got Facetious. What's up, Facetious? Chick Mom in the house every Sunday night. Check us out. All right. And then we have DJ Ma9net here leading the questions with Atomic VR. Atomic is sharing his production knowledge with us. We are soaking it in. Any questions, feel free to type it into the chat and I will relay it for you. I am Nina Crease, co-founder of the Music and Gaming Castle, Tribe XR, DJ Mentor, social media manager, also known as your music VR specialist. All right, shout out to Bad Dreams showing up on the stream. We see you. Dirty Blonde running around. And right now, Atomic was showing us how to put some sauce. Well, Ma9net was asking the question was which
Yeah,
led to the sauce.
I'm like, trying to think about how I'm gonna apply that very, very
Yes.
shortly.
So
Like,
the
Chick Mom,
LFOs,
3BM in the house.
LFOs are really awesome, and I use these quite a lot, especially on my drums and on my hi-hats to do like a stereo, so they're bouncing left and right, and doing the pitch as well. So it's got like really subtle changes in the pitch on the hi-hat, and it gives it that texture. It's not just stale. It sort of like gives it that movement.
Interesting. Even on your snares.
Not necessarily on my snares, or sometimes I
hi-hat?
like just a little.
See,
bit.
he's
Mostly on
asking
my
the right
hi-hats, yeah.
question. That's right.
Yeah, that's it. So we could even go even one step further than that. So we can add another. You can add as many LFOs as you want. Well, and all that your CPU can handle, I suppose. And I'm going to map this,
Facts.
and I'm going to map this to. Let's have a look. Actually, yeah, I'm going to map this to the feedback, and then I'm going to put random on this as well. So now we've got. So it's randomizing. So now we've got 3 LFOs. The first LFO is randomizing the filter cutoff. The second LFO is randomizing the rate of that random LFO, which is controlling the cutoff. And now the third LFO is randomizing the feedback on the echo. So you can see where this can go. You can get lost in LFOs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. You can get really creative with it as well. And like I say, with the envelope follower as well, which is just like I say, I love the envelope because you can just take any sample, any random sample, and just use it with an LFO envelope follower, and we can create something like that, which you would have never come up with. On, like I say, I would have never come up with that if I was just noodling about. I'd have never come up with anything like this. And you put it all together with a bass. And that little
it's
bit
got
of
this
distortion
cool
as
little.
well.
Yeah.
I'm loving that distortion. It's just the something about
It gives me like that Papa Americano sort of vibes, but like
it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the envelope following LFOs. And like I say, I do get a bit carried away with my LFOs. I'd rather use a random LFO or use the LFOs to do modulation on that channel rather than sit there for ages doing modulation or automation. There is a time and a place for automation, don't get me wrong. LFOs won't do everything that you need, but that's really good to get really creative in your signal chain. So
yeah, that's yeah, good luck recreating that.
yeah, I don't think I'd ever be able to recreate that, even if I tried, to be honest.
Yeah, be like, I'm gonna copy your sample. Be like, you're gonna have to download it, man, because good luck trying to play that. Yeah.
That's it, definitely. But yeah, that's
Wow,
basically the
man,
LFOs and envelope followers.
it's like the extent of my questions at the moment. I'm gonna have to think about it for a second.
Yeah, that's all good, man. It's all good. There's quite a lot to get your head around, but utilities, I use these a lot as well on quite often in my tracks.
I've
So
only
if
really
I'm
ever used it for monoing like a low end or something like that.
yeah,
That's
your
the
bass, yeah,
only that's the only sort of thing I've ever used it for. And reducing the width of a sample.
yeah.
So it's
There's
cool to
those.
see you use it a different way.
Yeah, they're really handy for that kind of stuff. But
And that gain
if
just
I'm
affects that
that
section of
channel,
audio, right? That
that
piece
channel,
that you've.
everything, yeah, that will affect
Oh,
everything
anything that goes
behind
through
it.
that. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. So if I put that there now, it won't affect the reverb. If I put it there, it won't affect the echo. It only affects
Ah, because it's
what
so the
comes
pattern
before it.
it's going it's reading left to
Yeah.
right.
So
Okay.
basically, the signal comes from your synth or instrument or whatever you got, and then it goes from left all the way to right. And it, like I say, it does matter where you put your effects. So getting your effects in the right order, or there's no right order, but for the sound that you want, the signal goes from left to right. And if you move your effects around, you can hear the difference. So yeah,
Look,
that utility will affect everything to the left.
your LFOs look like you're driving by a city in like a synthwave. It's
That's
like a
it.
city skyline. It's
Oh,
like a window
do you
out the
remember
side
that?
of the car.
Do you remember that game with the bird where you have to keep on
Yes,
tapping it up
Flappy
and down? It's
Bird.
like that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool.
That's cool.
So yeah, the way I use a utility mostly is I won't. A lot of people automate. So when you're automating, a lot of people automate their main track volumes if they want to do volume changes. So if I do that now, and I just wanted to do a fade out here,
Yeah.
so if I single this out, it's going to do that. The problem is now, if I get like, I don't know, 10 minutes, half hour into the project, and I think, oh, I want to turn that down, I can't because I've got this automation. So that means I
So
have to go into
manually
everything
adjusting
I've
doesn't
done,
overwrite the automation?
manually does override the automation, but then you haven't got your automation. So that fade will not go now. So if I put it to fade it,
Oh, it doesn't
it's not
fade
going to do it.
anymore.
No,
Oh.
that's what this little orange button at the top does. It's basically tells you to re-engage the automation. If I do that, it'll just go back to where you automated.
Right, so the
So
volume's back up where it was
yeah,
before. Okay.
so I've done this and I've found out this the hard way, to be honest, because
So I do
you
that a lot.
spend
So yeah.
2-3 hours on a project and then you think, oh, that's a bit loud actually. And then you've got to sit there and go back through all the automation and bring it down. If you've done it on 10, 15 tracks, you're like, oh, it
That
takes
was
you
me last
longer to
night.
do that. Yeah.
Yep.
So what I do now is if I delete this automation, right, so we haven't got no automation now on here, I will put a utility on that channel and then I'll click on gain. And what I'll do now is go into the automation lane. It'll be on utility gain and I want to do a fade out. Still does it. Still does the gain. So it fades out. But now I want to pump that up a bit.
It moves it. Yeah. Moves the
And
automation.
yeah, you don't have to worry about that. So, and you still got the automation on.
Yeah, sick.
And that is sort of like, it will save you a lot of pain in the long run.
That's a great tip. I'm gonna definitely do that because I use that volume to fade out quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I really highly suggest the utility plugin because then you ain't got that worry. So if I want to put this back up to, say, there, it's still going to play and it's still louder, but it's still got the fade out that I've put on the end.
Could you automate the width?
Yeah, you can automate the width. So
Well, yeah, I was just having a little
if I click
moment
on the
there.
width, if I click on the width on the thingy, it brings up the width in the automation lane. So we want
Oh,
to put this as it's fading out. We want to make it. And there you go.
Very
Huh.
cool.
So yeah, you can automate any Ableton, pretty much any plugin you can automate.
And whatever you
So
want to automate, you just click on that dial in the rack, and then it will
it's
automatically adjust the automation. That's very
exactly. So you
Yeah.
watched here where it says utility stereo width. If I
Yeah.
click the gain on this envelope follower, there you go. It
Changed.
snaps to
Yeah.
envelope gain. But yeah. So yeah, that's one of my tips, which I recommend, is using a utility on track if you're going to use, especially if you're doing, like, say, volume fades or even panning left to right, because it just makes it easier. So if I do, like, say, if I go to this again and I pan this, let's just put another good trip as well. If you want to put a curve in, if you select how much you want to put a curve in, then right click, and then down the bottom you've got a shape. So I've now can put shape in.
Where
So it's
where was that?
triangle.
Where was that bit?
So if I highlight what I want,
Yeah.
which section I want, so
Yeah.
just say I want it there,
Yep.
and just right click on it, and down the bottom it gives you all these different shapes.
Oh, okay. That's not showing up on the
Oh.
screen. Hold on. So
It's not
let me
showing
just.
up. Hang on a second. Let me
It's,
see if I can do it up here. What about if I
what did
highlight
you
it
say it was
here?
called? Shape. I'm just looking in my project.
Down here, can you see that? Oh no, it's not showing up, is it? Yeah. So
Uh,
if you go into the automation, just drag out a
automation.
section, drag out a section that you want, and right
Highlight
click on it,
section. Yeah.
and then down the bottom you should have
Oh,
shape.
insert shape.
Yeah.
Yo.
So
Okay.
now I've got this pan in, so it'll sound like this.
Oh, cool. Left to right. Oh, right to left. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can do that, and I've used the utility now, but I can pan this because now I've got that on the utility. If I want to slightly pan that to the left still, I can still pan it a bit to the left, and it's still going to keep the automation for the pan. Where if you pan it on the main channel, then you can't change it because it's
Yeah.
going to be automated. So the utilities are really, really handy to use for any sort of like basic automation.
Yeah, super handy. Definitely more useful than what I've been using it for, to simply mono low ends.
Yeah, that's cool. But that's even good. That's really good for that as well.
Well,
Just chucking in everything below.
big shout out to the Ableton Reddit community, because that's how I learnt that.
Yeah, so what Ma9net was saying, so basically in this utility plugin, we've got a mono here, a mono button, so it'll put everything in mono, but we've also below that got a bass mono. So everything below these hertz, so anything below 120 hertz will be in mono, and everything above that won't be affected. And we
And
can
why should we
change
mono
that
our why should we mono our low ends?
because mono, you want the bass in the middle because that's where it gives it the most punch. If it's out to the width, to the sides, it can cause frequency clashes with other stuff, and it takes up more sort of like of the lower end space. So you can't put your mid lows, and it just makes everything sound muddy if you have a stereo, if it's too stereo.
Right. So if you're looking at it from a soundstage perspective, then you want the bass to be coming down the center lane.
Yes. Yeah, definitely 100%. So you want everything like
Ooh.
your kick and your bass needs to be in the center.
And
There are
would your kick
exceptions
and
to
bass
the rule.
not would that how do they not run into each other because they're both low ends?
That's where we use sidechain.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's when we look at sidechain. So every time that kick hits, it ducks the bass down. It takes the frequencies out of the bass just at that moment that kick hits. So you won't have them playing at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah, but there's no except like I say, there's no rules in music production. Look, I've been getting into ambient lately, as you know, and we've literally, I use stereo bass all the time, just to give it that big washy stereo feel. So it all depends what genre you want. Most EDM or electronic music, house or trance or techno, generally you want to keep your bass, especially the low bass and the kick, in the middle. The top bass, you can chuck a bit stereo on it. It sounds quite nice. But the low, like subby low end needs in the middle to make it solid, like a solid found.
And so, yeah, so when you've got your sounds like your pads and stuff like that, you are gonna probably cut the low end out of them.
Yep, that's right. So with this pad, just say we lower this down. I'll demonstrate it on this one.
You want to sort of make space for everything, right? So they're all sort
Yeah.
of operating within one of those three spheres.
Yep, so if I drop this, maybe lower than that. So let's listen to the pad a second.
Right, because that's got a bit
That's
of low
quite
end,
low.
right?
Yeah, that's got quite a bit of low end. So just turn it up now. And what I'm going to do that is we've got our some craziness going on here.
Skyline, we'll call it. Yep.
Yeah, skyline going on. I'm just going to add a EQ. So I'm going to go into audio effects, go into EQ and filters. I'm going to use the EQ8 because it's got a
My
visual
favorite.
representation.
Yep.
Well, you can see straight away that this section here is just full of bass, all the low ends. So
Right, that's all the way up to 100 is like.
yeah,
right.
so like from here to here is your bass, and from about here downwards is your sub.
So
So
on
we
the
didn't want all these
utility,
three
real
tones.
quick, sorry if I could just jump in there for half a sec. On your utility, it says the
Yeah.
bass mono is at 120 hertz. So is
Yes.
that what you'd be cutting out here?
So 120 hertz is there. So basically, we've just done exactly the same. Well, no, we haven't, because we're not cutting that bass out. That's just basically putting it into mono. So basically, anything below this here, or actually, let's do it the other way around. So let me put this back to here, and we'll get a brick wall, and we'll go to 120 hertz.
Yeah, there we go. I see.
So about there, roughly. So if I click this mono now, everything in that section, what you can hear, will be in mono. So that's put that in mono.
Yep.
So now if we raise this up, the rest of it's still in stereo.
Ooh,
Just
Stereo.
the bottom end is not.
that sounds juicy.
And now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bass on this again. We hear that. I can hear that clashing straight away.
Yeah, for sure.
It sounds like really muddy in the bottom and everything.
Yep.
Not nice. So all I'm going to do is literally select the
Thing.
what's that called? Thing.
Bendy.
Yeah. Select that thing.
bendy
I
one.
can't even speak today. So we've got a brick wall. Well, I call them brick walls because they're just like a wall. So we're going to bring that right up until it don't sound muddy anymore. So we've taken that muddiness out, and that distortion is driving me a bit mad.
It's a bit high now, it seems. With the volume louder, it's a bit more pronounced, isn't it?
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this. Drag that there, so we can just curb that a bit. And now, so we've got that. So if we look at our bass here, we've got some sub information, and if we want it, if we feel like it's bleeding over a bit, we can do the opposite. So I can choose number 8. I'll change it to a brick wall, and I'll just cut some of those highs off of the bass.
Ah, okay. Yep.
So now if we look at those quickly in succession, so if I click here, we've cut the bottom end out of this, and we've cut the highs out of this.
Yeah, right. I didn't even think about I didn't even consider the low ends would have a high frequency.
Yeah, it does,
Like-
especially if you
Mhm.
especially if the filters cut. You got like the filter sweeps as well. If the filter's right up, then it will sort of like create harmonics, and those harmonics will be in a higher frequency.
It's funny that you say that because I do that when I'm doing some mixing. So when people send me their
Yeah.
projects, yeah, I usually just to get a cleaner bass, I cut out the highs,
Yeah,
any
some
of
of
the
the highs,
high
yeah.
frequency. Yeah, because it's taking up space in the mix also.
Definitely. That's it, and that's why we do it. So it basically cleans it up a bit, basically. Because if we turn these both off again now, so if I turn this off, and then I turn this off, and we're back to that, which sounds pretty muddy, doesn't it? So if I
Can
take
hear
that
it, yeah.
on, and I put this back on, it cleans it up pretty much straight away.
It's noticeable. Yeah, that's
Definitely
Yeah.
much better.
And for subs, if you want a sub bass, so if I went into here and changed this just to a sine wave, so let's do this. So we'll change this wave to sine. Okay, and we'll work the volume up a tiny bit. So we've got a sub wave
Changed
now.
the whole vibe.
Yeah, and you can see this, it's all down here. If I've got a sub, I generally cut everything below 100 out in my subs. And now that's just a sub bass. We can add a top bass to that now. So if I duplicated that, and then I went back into the VST, into here, and I changed this back to a saw, and I open the frequency a bit. Drive up a bit.
That's wild.
And then we'll put this up a tiny bit, just to give us that little bit of, and then I would cut the sub out of it because we don't need the sub because we got the sub from the other one. So we got that, and there's our bass line. That's generally how my bass lines, how I do my bass line, especially for like trance or like techno and stuff like that. I have a low bass and a high bass.
Interesting.
So you got that big nice subbiness coming from this, and then a little bit of top coming from this. And then what I might have to do is go back into this and just cut a tiny bit more of this off, just to tidy it up a bit. And yeah, we've balanced that. That's a balanced, basically, bass.
Man. All right. Now I need to go away and play with this.
It's
Oh
cool.
yes, it is about that time. On top of that,
Yeah.
Oh,
Nah,
damn,
everybody.
yeah.
wow, time definitely flew today. If you have any
Yeah.
questions, feel free to write us. Hey, what's up, everybody? We see you, Unpredictable Tay. Thanks for tuning in. Huge shout out to everybody who joined us today on the stream. We appreciate you. We do this every single Monday. This is Music Monday in the Music and Gaming Castle. Today, Atomic Sounds was sharing some of his secrets, some of his sauce. We was asking away, and he was just giving us the juice, baby. So anybody who, if you missed this, you will be able to watch this back on YouTube. All right, so we will be placing the link in our Discord. So if you aren't in our Discord, hop on in. And yeah, join us next week in the studio. We go live. We hit the stew around 6 o'clock. So come to the stew around 6. Come before a little 5:30 if you want to come and chill and just chat with us before we get into music production. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much a wrap. Huge shout out to I'm gonna roll down. I'm gonna give a chat shout out real quick. Shout out to the Real Conscious on the stream. Whoop, 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 whoop. Shout out to Facetious 3VM. Chick Mom in the building. Let's go. Shout out to Bad Dreams coming down. Dirty Blonde. Whoa, huge shout out to Tribe. The Tribe fam is in the house heavy. Huge shout out to Lead. Oh, aka the new
Who that?
Ma9net. Sorry, that was automatic. That was automatic. You know, he's not Lead no more. My bad. He busted out the shell. He busted out the lead. Now he's just
Yeah.
magnetic.
I'm manifest now. I can't be calling
That's
myself lead magnet. Someone
That's
shoot
right.
my ass.
That's right. So Ma9net had led all the questions, and if you haven't already, follow Ma9net. He's a phenomenal artist. He also releases music. Well, we all release music on our own accord. So follow Ma9net, follow Atomic VR, follow Nina Crease, follow the Music and Gaming Castle if you aren't already, and we will see you later tonight. Tonight is when we do our VR music spotlight. All right, so stay tuned. After my DJ workshop and Tribe, we're going to get into a little VR music production software. That's right, because some of you guys have been asking questions. So we're going to dip into a little VR fun tonight. All right, so for everybody on the stream, thank you for tuning in. Once again, I'm Nina Crease. I moderated the producer education segment of the castle today. And we will be back. Atomic, would you have anything you'd like to say to anybody before we close out? What's up, Unpredictable? I see you too.
I would just say, what can I say? Play your music loud, play it proud, and have fun.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's nice advice. Thank you. Because that's all we want in the end. You should be having fun. Oh, and T. Right out there, we have T Sickle. Tribe XR community manager T Sickle has dropped into the castle. He's in the stew, everybody. Whoop, 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 whoop. Shout out to T. Hey, yeah. So follow T, because T is an awesome DJ, and he also streams some phenomenal sets. So you don't want to miss those. We got lots and lots of activity in the community. All right, so follow our friends. All right, stay alert on when all of us go live, because we are all very active. So let's all just spread the love. All right, and stay connected. I'm DJ Nina Creed. And don't forget, everybody, increase the peace. We'll be back tonight.
Much love.